What's up, guys? It's your boy the Boom, and I am back for another video. And I want to talk about what I want in Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4. So let's get right into it. Let's go. Okay, guys. Number one, what I want in the new Dragon Ball game, because this is a very big thing that they really don't like putting in other games for some reason. It was in Dragon Ball Fighters, kinda in Kakarot from what I saw, and it's in Xenoverse a little bit. So it's not a full part of the story. Dragon Ball Super games. Dragon Ball Super needs to have a part of the new game. You can add all the Z characters. I'm tired. We've seen Z so many times. We've seen Z a bunch of times. Like every story, we see the Cell part, the Frieza part, the Boo part. Like how many times can we watch these parts over and over again? Add Super. Add Super. Maybe even add GT if you want to do that. GT gets no representation. Show some GT storylines. That would be kind of cool. That would be different. But yeah, we just don't ever get to see Super. We haven't seen... We kind of see Battle of God sometimes. Because that was in Battle of Z. That was in Xenoverse. It was in Kakarot. It was in Fighter Z. So I say we kind of get Battle of Gods now. The Frieza part, it was not in Battle of Z. It was in Xenoverse, I think. It was in Kakarot too. That was in Kakarot. Then you got the Universe 6 part, never is in anything. It was in Xenoverse for a little bit. I remember it was kind of in Xenoverse. But hits in Fighter Z, but that's not the storyline. So we don't get the Universe 6 part. The Tournament of Power, we do not get it all. We get the characters in Xenoverse. Xenoverse just basically has all the characters. Xenoverse has all the characters, but we're gonna get to characters later. But Xenoverse has Kakarot. The Tournament of Power characters. But we don't really get that much. Jiren is in Fighter Z. Fighter Z has all the characters, sort of most of the characters from Super. The Black Goku's a Masu part. We don't get that in those stories. We don't get the Universe Tournament in those stories. We don't get the Universe 6 part in those stories. So we don't get those Super parts in any of these stories. I think that's just disappointing. So they should start adding Dragon Ball Super stuff to these stories. And so we get to see that part of the story. So let's go to the next part. Okay, the old Budokai Tenkaichi games. This is something they did not ever miss out on. They always had all the characters. Especially Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3. That game has everybody. And talking about characters, what I expect from this new game, Xenoverse. I know that's a high bar because Xenoverse freaking has everybody. Everybody's in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. That's a high bar, but I feel like Xenoverse and Tenkaichi 3 are about the same thing. It's like, okay, you added everybody to the story. That's really cool. I want all the Super people. I want all the GT people. I want all the Dragon Ball people. I want all the Z people. Like, we've been doing this for years. And once again, we're going to get to something else later that's been a problem while we ain't getting all the characters. I feel like Fighter Z should have had everybody in the game. Kakarot isn't a two-player game, so it's okay. But they started just adding everybody to these games, especially Fighter Z. That was wrong what they did in Fighter Z. Just pointless. So don't make it a 5-people roster. Don't make it the roster 5 people and then do what I don't want y'all to do. I'm going to talk about that later, but don't make the roster 5 people. That's very lame. And y'all know how many people should be on the game. Just add everybody to the game. So that's how I feel about that. They should just add everybody to the game. All the characters. Okay, y'all. This has been a problem with all the anime games for a long time now. This has been happening in the newer anime games. This is why all the anime games recently have been trash. I played that Demon Slayer game. I was like, okay. So we got a roster. It was like 15 people. And then they started adding DLC and stuff. I was like, wow, y'all really gonna do the people that pay for this game like that? Naruto, now they want to make a whole nother game. Basically, it's like a DLC game. And it's like, y'all gonna make me pay $70 for a new Naruto game? That's a waste of money. Do not go out and buy that. Jump Force. DLC packs was coming out like every couple months. Waste of money. And Fighter Z was the bad thing with that. That's what I was gonna talk about. Fighter Z was just doing DLC for all these characters. And it was like, y'all really gonna do fans like this? This is wrong. That's messed up. Y'all should just release this all at the same time and give the fans what they want. I understand stuff that ain't out yet. Like, I think at the time Dragon Ball Z Fighters wasn't out, you had the Broly movie. The Broly movie wasn't out yet. So I understand that. But like the Super stuff that was out already, just give us that. Release it for free. It's DLC. Just release it. It's okay. So I think that's really dirty. And the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 game, at the time, they didn't do DLC. That was not a thing at that time in the world. DLC wasn't around back before the technology online shop days. It was not around yet. So every character you got in the game, every character that you wanted in the game, it was going to be in the game. So I think with this new game, they have to just release it all on the game. Now, if something comes out after, maybe you could do DLC then. It's like, okay, we'll add that in after something new comes out. Like now, don't make Gohan Beast form because it just came out. Don't make that DLC. Just make that part of the game. Make that part of the game. It already came out. Don't try to do that. But if something like a new Super Show comes out, you can make that DLC. I'm okay with that. And then the next game, you shouldn't make that DLC a newer game. That's my rules of it. If it's something that hasn't came out yet, you can make a DLC. But if it's already out, just make it a part of the game. Because that's just straight up dirty. And you doing people dirty. You're stealing their money. So I think that's what they should do, though. Just no DLC. Just for now, no DLC. Nothing's coming out in Dragon Ball universe. Don't try to make Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo DLC. That's not... Y'all know y'all could have put that in the game. It's a waste of money. I'm not paying $20 for a pack with 2 cool characters and 2 terrible characters. Like, Videl should not be DLC in 2023. I think they just made Videl DLC on a Dragon Ball Z Fighters pack. It's like, wow. Videl? I was in the same pack as like Kid Goku and Ultra Instinct Goku and stuff. It's like, that's a waste of money. Do not do people like that. So, let's go to the final thing. My main thing. Okay, I said this was my main thing, but it's not my main thing. But I think it's very important too. Graphics. The graphics should be on point. Now, if the gameplay's fun, all of that, anime games, graphics ain't really top tier all the time. But Dragon Ball games for sure, try to keep their games like, oh, that's good. That looks really good. That's top tier stuff. And when I played Kakarot, that game was like, oh my god, that's like the greatest cutscenes in all of Dragon Ball. I think you can debate it with me, but I think that's up there, man. I haven't seen no game with cutscenes that just look that pretty. Each cutscene was just a fire. I love cutscenes in games. And for big anime fans, Naruto Ninja Storm 3 had a bunch of cutscenes. I was like, wow, this is really, it brings you into the game. And then Ninja Storm 4 just did not have no cutscenes, like pictures and stuff. I think that was so lazy. So I just hope Dragon Ball Z Budokai 4 just tries to do the graphics and the cutscenes are just on point. Do a bunch of cutscenes, man. Do cutscenes for all the Dragon Ball Super moments. Do not do pictures. That's ugly. It's bad. Like, I think the My Hero game has been doing that for their game. Like, that's lazy. Don't y'all want to have fun? Show us the stuff. Show us cool graphics and stuff. I think that's cool. And then all the stories and stuff. That's another thing. I'm just going off talking about everything I just want in the game. All the storylines. I said I want the super stuff, and I was making fun of Dragon Ball Z stuff because we get it all the time. Put the Dragon Ball stuff in there. Don't cut out parts of the story. Give us all the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 stuff. Give us all of Dragon Ball Z storylines. Give us all the Dragon Ball Super storylines, and that'd be like the greatest Dragon Ball game on all the time. Y'all want that? You would want to have the greatest Dragon Ball game of all time. That's an achievement. When you actually try to give fans what they want, like, that just helps the company. It helps y'all. So I'm just telling y'all what y'all need to do. Make the graphics top tier. Give us all the story. Kakarot did. They gave us all of the storylines. I'm mad at what they did to the Battle of Gods part. They didn't just give us the Battle of Gods part of the story. That's lazy. I was mad about that. But Kakarot still had most of all the story. All of the story was there. And that's what Budokai Tenkaichi 4 should just give us all of the story. One more thing that they need to do is from what y'all don't remember, 2010 or 2009, they released the Dragon Ball, another Tenkaichi game after Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3, I mean. After Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3, they released Ultimate Tenkaichi Budokai or whatever. That game, man, from me playing as a kid, from what I remember, it was like these quick time button things where you gotta press a triangle or square or whatever. Those things were so stupid. It's like you couldn't even fight. That was like the stupidest concept. So what they need to do is just get rid of that and just go back to the original Budokai 1, 2, and 3 style. I never played 1, so I can't even say how 1 was. But Budokai 2 and Budokai 3, how those games work, just do it that way. And I think that's it, y'all. Tell me how y'all feel about all of this, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Anime Boom out. Peace.